this little lesson is going to be all about thirds and inverted thirds, which are kind of sixths, there's thirds, but upside down. It'll make sense in a bit. If you're not a music theory person, I guarantee you'll still be able to apply this on the guitar, as I'm going to stay in the key of A minor, which is just the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And then A again, we can continue that as much as we want. But my point is, I'm going to give all the tabs, all the charts, they're all going to be on screen, and there's going to be a link to the full lesson in the description. But what we're going to do is start with a real basic melody. And that uses all of the notes in the key of A minor. So one more time. And I'm going to play it also an octave lower, but on a single string, which will look like this. And what we're going to do is take a look at adding thirds to that. Now, if thirds sounds like a lot of music theory jargon and stuff, I totally get it. Let me just play you the parts real quick like I did in the intro, and then we'll go to the whiteboard, take a look at how thirds work, and dissect how we can add that to our lead playing to kind of add some dimension to it. The first thing that I played was straight thirds. And then an inversion of those thirds, with the sixths, is... So you got a lot of options when you come up with a melody in a straight up key. I'm just going to discuss the theory behind thirds very, very quickly now. And then we're going to head to the whiteboard and see if we can dissect that a little bit more and kind of ingrain it in our subconscious. Now we've got these notes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, as much up and down the neck as we would like. And the thirds is really straight, simple idea of you play a note, and then you skip the note in between it. So this will be my first, second, third. So I'm just playing this first note, and then the note that's two higher than it. E, A, and C. Then B. That's, it's something that we hear all the time on guitar. If that's new to you, we're going to take a look at how we can put that together a little bit more in the theory side. But if it's familiar to you, feel free to skip forward a little bit to this time. All right, so here we are at the whiteboard. This is something I came up with a long time ago when I started teaching guitar about a quarter century ago. These are all the notes on the guitar, and you can think of these as each as one fret. So let's say on our open A string, we'd have the A note. First fret would be A sharp, B flat, second fret, etc. So as we move clockwise, we're playing higher notes. As when we move counterclockwise, we're playing lower notes. And what we are in right now is we're in the melody for this little exercise song is in the key of C major or A minor. And that's going to have just the natural notes. There's not going to be any flats or sharps. So I'm going to go ahead and erase those. If the music theory stuff is a little bit weird, don't worry, this is not going to take long for me to get through. And I'm a very visual learner, and while I was teaching, this seemed to be very helpful for a lot of folks. So I'm going to just go ahead and erase the notes that are not in our key or in the note set that we'll be using. It's going to keep things nice and simple here because our da 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 da. What was it? Da 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 is really just those notes. A, B, C, B, A, G, E, T, F, E. That's our basic melody. And what we're doing is we want to find the thirds. And as I just spoke about when we're at the guitar, is a third is going to be, we're going to take the notes in our key and we're just going to skip over a note in between. Let me use a different color for finding the thirds here. So let's say we're going to start with our first note of our melody. That's an A. And its third, I'm just going to make a little bit of room here. I'm going to skip over the B and find a C. So that's the third of A. A is going to go to C. B is going to go, we'll skip over the D, etc. C is going to go all the way over to E. D is going to go to F, etc. And we can kind of continue this pattern E is going to go to G, F is going to go to A, and then G is going to go over to B. This is going to move out here. And we can see some of these are longer than others, right? Like A to C is going to be A, 1, 2, 3. B to D, 1, 2, 3. C to E, 1, 2, 3, 4. So anytime we have 3 steps, that's going to be a minor third. Anytime we have 4 steps, that's going to be a major third. I realize a lot of people use a capital M for major and a small m for minor. I tend to use a triangle just so I can see the difference at any scale. So what I'm going to do is just kind of note which one of these has what type of third. So A is going to have a minor third, B is going to have a minor third because these are both 3 steps. C is going to be a nice long 4 steps, so that's going to be a major third. D, minor, minor, major, major. If we just know this much about the notes that we're going to play, we can see that the minor thirds, again, are 3 steps. The major thirds are 4 steps. So F is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 frets away. G is going to be major, so 1, 2, 3, 4 steps away. A is going to be minor, 1, 2, 3. B is minor, 1, 2, 3. Actually, just might as well do all of them. 1, 2, 3. C is major, 1, 2, 3, 4. D is going to be minor, 1, 2, 3. And I think that, no, I don't think we did E yet. E is going to be minor, 1, 2, 3. And now because we know what these relationships are, it's the same as like knowing, this is the shape for a fifth chord or something like that. And now what we can do is we can say, okay, this time, every time I'm going to play an A, it's going to be a minor third in this key. So I know what the shapes are for a minor third. We're going to take a look at that when we get back to the guitar. But I've been talking this whole time about like how sixths are thirds upside down. Let's just stick with C. So I'm going to just kind of erase all of the other intervals other than C. And we'll just take a look at what the heck I was talking about there, and that becomes a shape that you can use as well. So C's got a major third, so this is going to be 4 frets up. 4 frets higher. If we're going to play the third, we're going to play it 4 frets higher, which tells us a shape that we can play on the next string. Now, C's third is E, its major third is E. Now we can go higher to play that E, or we can go in the other direction and play an inverted third, which is going to be the same note, C and E, except this E, if we go in this direction, is going to be an octave lower than the E if we go higher. Now, why do I call that the sixth? The interval is from E to C. If we count from E, E is its first, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a dominant sixth or a minor sixth for E. It's sixth, but that is the third that's upside down for the C. I don't know if that makes sense. But sixths are thirds upside down. Which would 3 is normal upside down. Like what would an R look like? Instead of going from the bottom, go from the top, right? Yeah, and this would look like a P, and the S would just be backwards. So yeah, sixths are thirds upside down. Hopefully that made sense. I don't know. But let's get back to the guitar and take a look at it and practically put it into use. Okay, so while I was editing this, I realized that I throw a lot of information at you in the next segment. So before we get there, I'm going to put all of the basic shapes from major and minor thirds and their inversions on the screen right now, as well as play them for you on the guitar so you can recognize them in the next segment. It's a really great spot to pause and take a screen cap or something if you find this useful. So your basic minor third shape, that's going to work everywhere on the guitar except for on the G and the B strings because of how the standard tuning is different between those 2 strings. Looks like this. So my root is on the lower string and the minor third is a string higher, 2 frets behind. Major third is almost the same. My root is on the lower string, but the major third is only 1 fret behind. That's different on the G and the B strings, just a little bit. where the minor third looks like this, where your root is on the G string, your minor third is on the B string, 1 fret behind, and the major third is the same string on both, or same fret on both strings. Now the inversions of those, of course, are going to look very similar. So I'm going to start with my root on the G string. So here, it's very similar, but kind of also upside down. Here my root is on the G string, 2 strings lower and 2 frets higher is my major third. Minor third is going to look the same, but we're just going to use 1 fret higher. And this looks the same for most places, except, of course, when we get to the G and the B string. So if my root is on the B string, my minor third is the same fret, my major third is 1 fret higher. And same for the high E. Major third is 1 fret higher, and minor third is the same fret. Again, these are all on the screen. Take a picture, take a screen cap. It is a lot of information, but it can transform your playing. Let's get back to the actual guitar stuff. Okay, so now that we've left the whiteboard, let's go back to our melody here. And we're going to play the thirds on those. I'm going to go ahead and play it and then talk about some of the small techniques that we're going to have to do that are a little bit different. And of course, the tuning between the G and the B string is a little bit different, so that changes the shapes from one string to the next. But I promise, once you add this to your playing, it'll immediately unlock a lot of ideas. You might have heard my dog barking in the background there. My neighbors are adding an addition to their house. But so the first thing that I'm going to do here is A and B, about which I'm going to talk, I should say, is A and B both have minor thirds. But C has a major third. So if I'm playing just those notes, I will use my index and my ring finger for the minors, and either my ring finger and my second finger for the major, or my middle and index for the major. Or, which are very usual ways to play it. Plays to weigh it? That also makes sense. I see a lot of people play their minor thirds like this, so they can come in and out of their major thirds easily as well. Just keep everything with their second or first finger. It doesn't feel as natural to me when I'm playing, but it might for you. One of the reasons that might be helpful in this instance is I'm doing that slide there. So we have to slide from a minor third to a major third. I still tend to do it with these fingers, but you might find a way that is more comfortable for you. Those types of decisions of the physical techniques of what you're doing with your fingers does change a lot when you're playing thirds. So that's how I would normally play it. A lot of people would also play it like this. It's kind of up to you. Now when we get down to the B and the G strings, major third and a minor third, the shapes are a little bit different. A major third is a double stop. Same fret on both of them. So I'm going to play this part again. Played it wrong. That's a major third. And then the minor third shape is the same as a major third between the B and the G. So if we take a look at that, we're using both major and minor thirds with the roots on the B string and the G string, so we get both of the shapes. One more time. So if that's new to you, go ahead and pause it here. I'll leave the tabs up, and again, there's a link in the description to the full lesson. Get comfortable with that a little bit, and then we're going to take a look at inverting those so that we're playing the inverted thirds or the sixths. All right, so now that you're back, we're going to stay with the same melody. But we're going to play the sixths underneath them. So all we're really going to do is take like this C. That's the first melody I'm playing, or harmony I'm playing. I'm just going to move that down an octave lower to here. Now when you're on the B string, a minor third again is It's now a triple stop where you're not playing the note in between. So a lot of times I would play it like this. But if I'm plucking with my fingers, I tend to not play with a pick often. So if I'm plucking with my fingers, I'll bar it and like this. If I'm playing with a pick, I'll probably play it like this. So there, another minor third, and the major third is shaped like this, where you've got the root note and it's 1 fret higher and 2 strings lower. That's your minor third. Again, we're not playing the G string here. The root is on the B, and its third is the same fret, but 2 strings lower on the D. And then the major third shape looks like this. Now we'll move down to the G string. Of course, the tuning is going to be a little bit different. The major third is 2 frets higher. So my root is this G note, and that's my third. 2 frets higher, 2 strings lower. We go down to a minor third, which is this shape. Now let me play the whole thing. I'm going to play the B string first. And now on the G string. So let me play both of those with I'm just going to play the melody, it with the thirds, and then with the sixths. So you have a lot of options with the straight up melody just by playing the thirds. And it can sometimes sound very Iron Maiden-y. You know, almost like there's a harmony guitar, second guitar playing along with it. Let me play that an octave lower as well, so I can show you how those shapes translate to other parts of the guitar. So the melody here. An octave lower would be here. Now I'm playing it all on one string, but now let's try that with sixths. Right, so that's our minor shape, just like it was here when we were doing the same minor shape, and our major shape is going to be the same as well. So let's do the melody one more time. Let's do it nice and slow. So we got a lot of options here. Let's head back to that melody and see some ways that we can build with it. So I just played some epic improv solo in A minor, and I come back to this melody. You can add thirds here. And go up an octave. And add the inverted thirds. Be a great signal for the band and the audience that the lead is ending. You've got a lot of options once you start making this translation in your brain. It can really add a lot to your playing. I think the most useful thing to do with it is write a simple melody like that and start working on the thirds if thirds are still a little bit alien to you. If thirds are something that you already use in your playing and you haven't looked at using the inverted thirds yet, it adds a ton of depth. The space between the note, the root, and the inverted third is so much bigger that it gives a lot more breadth to the sound of the guitar. So yeah, thirds and inverted thirds, huge help to be able to add some depth to your lead playing.